Welcome back. The show represented by Banks & Jones, Tennessee's trial attorney, banksandjones.com, as we broadcast live from the Ted Russell Ford Lincoln Studios. Also want to send a shout out to our friends at City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com. They bring you hot or cold daily on the program. And also, we're a big part of bringing you Cooper Mays, 50 years of integrity in East Tennessee, City Heating and Air Conditioning. They will absolutely take care of you. So Cooper joins us. He was part of the Vol Report brought to you by City Heating and Air Conditioning. And Coop, how are you, sir?
I'm doing really good. I cannot complain at all. How are you?
I like you rocking the stash there. Is there perhaps some sort of, I don't know, is it possible you could be a firefighter or a police officer one day?
Maybe so. I'm either that or I guess barbecue restaurants, something like that.
What in the world happened with that deal? Because I see on Facebook that you're going to start a smokehouse and give up football. I'm like, that doesn't sound like the Coop I know.
Yeah, not me. I can't really. I'm really not good at all at cooking, or maybe not good is not the word. I haven't dove into cooking as much as I should have. So that being said, I definitely can't do any barbecue. I can cook like breakfast, and that's about it. So
Me too. And if I had the facilities that you've had at UT, I would probably lean on that as well, because there's something to be said about the food just sitting there for you.
free food at a cafeteria, it stunted my growth, but um, free
Started
food is
out,
always
how
free
did it
food is
stunt
always
your
good.
growth?
As far as cooking, that's about it.
Your
Yeah.
growth. Okay, but your growth in eating. Now, what's
No.
it like? Because you've gone through the recruiting process where you had a say in it and you wanted to end up at Tennessee. But what's it like waiting for the NFL draft where you could be in Seattle, Miami, San Diego, New England? You just don't know where you're going to be.
Yeah, it's a different kind of feel, but I don't worry about it really too much. I don't really get stressed out about it a lot anyway. You kind of know that about me, but I don't know. I guess I'm just going with it. You can't worry about it because I mean that's kind of pointless. So um, I'm good with whatever.
Coop, you had a really good chip on your shoulder as a prospect and then as a player as you developed. And I think it motivated you. Do you feel like you fulfilled your potential as a college football player? You turned yourself into an all SEC center.
That's it. That I haven't really thought of it like that, but I guess so. I mean, I didn't really when I came to Tennessee, I wanted to be all SEC, but I never thought I would be all American. I didn't really that wasn't kind of not that I didn't feel like I couldn't, but it was more just like I didn't even think about it at all. So becoming an all American was pretty cool. I feel like that's about as good as you can get.
Absolutely. And what is that? What was that like when you heard that announcement?
I don't know. It was just awesome. You know, I like I said, I didn't even really think about it, and I still didn't even really think about it until my senior year. But just really big blessing. I didn't expect it at all.
So I'm gonna kind of dance around a question that I've asked guys waiting for the draft. I'm not gonna ask you to tell me which team you'd like to go to because that could exclude other teams. But I will ask you this: are there a couple of teams, you don't have to tell me who they are, that you're like, man, I'd like to end up there?
Uh, no, I haven't really thought of it honestly. I mean, like obviously, I'd want a team that fits my scheme and taxes are low. But like I don't, I've never really been like like I didn't really when I grew up, I would watch football obviously a lot, but I didn't really have a fandom for an NFL team like I did UT. So I don't know, it's a different kind of vibe there. But yeah.
You talk about your scheme. What type of offense? If I'm looking at TV on a Sunday or I'm looking at old tape from last year, what kind of scheme fits what you do?
Wide zone schemes, more on that type of path.
Okay,
Just
I
being
do.
a smaller guy that wants to kind of be able to use his athleticism more.
Okay, how many of the 32 franchises in the NFL do you think run that type of offense?
A good amount, you
Okay,
know, good majority.
would you like to play with Cade Mays, your brother, in a perfect world?
Yeah, I would definitely like that. I think it would help me, and I think I could help compliment Cade in some ways as far as like personality. We're pretty different in outlooks on stuff, so we can kind of be a good little team together. So yeah, I'd love to. I mean, it obviously means that you'd have to fight for a spot with him, but in a certain way, I guess. But yeah.
Well, I would think that Cade theoretically could slide to guard, right? And you could play center. I mean, you get that far down the line, or do you even think about that?
No, there would have to be so much stuff go a certain way for that to happen. I don't know. I mean, it may. You never know what will happen, but no, I haven't really pictured it. Would be cool though.
The other guy that could definitely put his arm around you and help you into the NFL would be Trey Smith, I would think. You referred to him as a brother. I mean, how nice would that be if you ended up a chief?
Yeah, and super cool. Me and him are super tight, and he obviously wants the best for me, and would do anything to help me. So he's awesome. That's one of my best friends of all time, for sure.
Cooper May's nice enough to join us on the program. Coop, also, Tennessee has to replace 4 offensive linemen. So there's going to be some young guys step in. What would you tell a young guy who may be unsure of himself because he hasn't played real snaps in the SEC?
I would say that's probably right where you should be at. Um, just it stinks. It's not fun in the moment, but um, everybody's going to be unsure about it until they do it. So the best way you can conquer that and get good at stuff is if you go in there and fail, and put, and maybe if you don't even fail, maybe if you're so good that you just step in and do great automatically. I mean, that's very rare, obviously, but it's best to get your face in the fire a little bit and get burnt, and then kind of figure out how to protect yourself. So I don't know. I would say you're right on cue with where you should be. You should feel kind of unsure about stuff, and you should be anxious about it, and just do the best you can every day, and you'll put yourself in a good spot.
I want to go back to what you said. It's been a while about William Satterwhite. You said you're very high on him. Said he kind of reminds you of you. You can just kind of revisit those comments.
Yeah, I was just saying he's an athletic guy that's a little bit undersized compared to most O linemen, which is natural for a center. Like, he's not small, but kind of on the smaller side of O linemen, and kind of aggressive and athleticism to make up for it. So he's a great player in the future that I think will step up, and I think he's got a good trajectory where he's at right now, where I left him.
When you were just about to be a starter, and take me back to that time. So you played a ton of positions early as they tried to find the right place for you. But when you felt like you were going to be a starter at center, what was more daunting, the physical aspect of it or the mental aspect of it, since you have to handle so many line calls?
That it's definitely like double. Like, you're kind of you're unsure about both, or at least I was. I think Sat will have a better little go of it than I did at first, because he's been able to dial in on the calls a little bit more than I was. I was just a freshman, like, that was like, we had just come out of COVID and missed all of our spring development. So like I was hurt for the first bit when I got here. So I was kind of not where I wanted to be physically and mentally, probably, because of all the circumstances surrounding that preseason. But Cade did help me, because Cade started right beside me, and he told me that he would take all the calls, and I just had to worry about playing hard. But we were playing Florida, and they were like top 5 in the country at this time. And they had Kyle Trask, and or is that his name? Was that the guy that was really good?
Yes.
Yeah. So they had him, and so we were scared, or I was kind of scared about how I would fare out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt like it was gonna feel like the NFL out there, but I ended up getting in there and playing against some guys that were 5th year seniors and stuff, and I did well and held my own and got a few finishes. So I felt good about myself after it.
I want to ask you about 2 guys that I think will make a big step. And One is Lance Hurd, who was injured at the beginning of the last season, but I thought played really well in the second half of the season. What do you make of his upside?
I would say he's you know, I don't want to compare him to Darnell because that's so lofty, and Darnell's so gifted in just so many areas. He's like he just has everything. But Lance is kind of more on that trajectory. I don't know if he'll be as good as Darnell, but he's really, really talented, and a big dude that's super athletic and twitchy. Um, like he could be really, really, really good, and I think he is good personally. I mean, a lot of people wanted to hate on him last year, but I always defended him. I thought he was, better than people gave him credit for, and he was playing through injury. So, um, yeah, I don't know. I think he could be a really great player for us this year, and I think he should be. I haven't been around here for spring, so I can't comment how I've seen him do or anything. But he should be a great player for us this year.
And then Tennessee's coaches have challenged Nico publicly about being a more vocal leader, which I think that'll happen. I think it's natural from going first year starter to second year starter. But how important is that your quarterback can grab somebody by the face mask, so to speak, and get people's attention?
Uh, I don't know.
Maybe not literally grab them by the face mask, but
Right. No, I know what you're saying. Obviously, I don't know. I mean, I, I don't know. I mean, personally for me, I don't need a quarterback to get in my face and tell me what to do. I don't really feel like that's needed. But I mean, definitely being able to maybe not being the guy that does it all the time. It's just being able to. You know what I'm saying? Just when stuff
right.
does get bad enough, you can step into that role. I don't know. I mean, I haven't been around, so I don't know how. I can't really comment on anything like that. But um, I would say it's the ability is important. Maybe not a consistent behavior. Because I mean, the best quarterbacks I've played with never were, you know, getting on people's butt, so to speak. Like
That's a great question.
they'd call you up and be like, "Hey, this is not up to our standard. Like we're about to fix this right here. Like this is not how we're about to let today go, and this is where this all the BS ends right here. Like let's lock in." And everybody would lock in, but nobody was like, you don't really respect somebody pulling up and trying to mother F you as a quarterback, me personally. Just because, I don't know. Quarterback doesn't really talk to us like that.
Give me a couple of, well, let me ask you this. Does a quarterback need to be a leader for a unit to be at its best on offense?
Yeah, I mean, a quarterback's a baseline leader. You know what I'm saying? It's like I don't know. I don't know. It's kind of like your Mike linebacker in the on the defense. Like they're just the automatic. You're an automatic leader. Um, especially quarterback too. They're like the face of the program. So you got to be a leader, and you got to carry yourself as such and act as such for sure.
How would you describe Hendon Hooker's leadership style?
What I just said like 2 minutes ago about how the difference of how you say things probably. I mean, he was super chill. I mean, but he had no problem. He was more of the guy that had the ability. Like everybody knew that we couldn't go out there and have a BS practice. Like it was gonna get it was gonna get restarted automatically. But yeah, probably more on the chill side. He's not gonna get on your butt really. But if it gets bad enough, he definitely will.
For Cooper Mays, I'm Dave Hooker. Nice of you to join us, Coop. I'm still rooting that you'll be a Dallas Cowboy. Do they run the wide splits?
They run a little bit of everything, but yeah, for sure.
Okay, that's what I'm rooting for. So that way I'll get to go see games and cover you and write about how you've been winning the Bob Lilly Award as the best overall Dallas Cowboy. Jason Witten won that award like 8 times, so I think you can win it 9.
That's lofty. That's lofty expectations,
It's,
bro.
it's lofty. I mean, you've got a smokehouse to run, so you might not want to play in the league that long.
I always will go back to my roots as a pit boss. That's for sure.
How many calls did you get about the smokehouse thing?
I got a call within probably 10 minutes of it first being posted ever on Facebook. That was pretty quick, and I had no clue. It was one of my good friends, and he was like, "Why didn't you tell me?" I was like, "What are you talking about? No clue what you're talking about." And that's so I knew before everybody else. It's just I didn't know it would kind of catch fire like that. But I've had a ton of text, and everybody when they talk to me, especially in my hometown, whenever they see me, they'll say hello and ask about how they saw my barbecue restaurant that's about to go up, and I'm like, yeah, I guess so.
Like, hey, Coop, what kind of wood do you use? Are you a mesquite guy?
Oh man, I don't even no clue.
Me neither. I buy whatever's at the front of the store aisle. He's Cooper Mays. I'm Dave Hooker, the show represented by Banks & Jones, Tennessee's trial attorney, banksandjones.com, as we broadcast from the Ted Russell Ford Lincoln Studios. I want to thank City Heating and Air Conditioning, cityheatandair.com.